Hi, let's talk about some of the winter reads that I am reading this winter, books that I'm reading this winter, books that I'm revisiting this winter. I am in my parents' home. I am on a holiday, and so yeah, I'm drinking from my childhood cup here, and there's my bookshelf there, and there's my grandmother here. So Grammy ভিডিঅ' লৈ আছো, তুমি আবা আঁতৰি দিয়া, ইফালে মই ইফালে, তুমি ভিডিঅ'ত ওলাই যাবা। Okay, so let us talk about the books that I'm reading. So this one, I just finished this one today. It's called The Last Queen by Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni. Ero or khuliasun one pohorto নহলে ভিডিওটো ডার্ক হয়ে যায়। নহলে ভিডিওটো ডার্ক হয়ে যাব। Okay. So this book that I just finished reading, it's called The Last Queen by Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni. I have read The Palace of Illusions, which I really loved. Then I've also read her The Forest of Enchantments, and then this is the third book that I'm reading by Devakaruni, The Last Queen. This is the story of the last queen of Punjab, the youngest queen of Punjab, Rani Jindan, and it starts off when she's young and she's a child, and then it moves on to when she's a teenager, when for the first time when she's 15 years old she meets the king of Punjab, King Ranjit, and they fall in love. And then how she becomes, she's this like really poverty stricken girl. She comes from this family where her father works as a doorkeeper at the palace of the king, right? And she's his daughter, and by the stroke of luck, I would say she becomes the queen. From literally the story of rags to riches, she becomes the queen of Punjab. I don't know how, I mean, probably it is an inspiring story, because I think the story kicks in after the half of the book is already done, because I think Chitra Banerjee spends a lot of time focusing on and talking about the love story for some reason, which I did not enjoy reading for some reason, and also did not find exciting. Her Queen Jindan's story actually begins once the king dies, and how she actually becomes the real queen of Punjab, how she rules as a woman who is not allowed space in the court, right? So it's quite a touching story. More than touching, I would say it's a story about this woman who does not give up. The story begins in Lahore, now Pakistan, in 1839, and it ends in the year, let me just, 1864. So it is, I would rate this book, let's say 6 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. I did not quite enjoy a lot of bits about this book, especially of course at that time I think a very old king marrying a teenager or even a child was very much norm, but in this book I found that aspect super and ultra romanticized, and which I found a little creepy. So that's just my personal opinion on that. But yeah, so this is something that I just recently read. Let me. Okay. The struggles of trying to record something at home. Anyway. Then I'm revisiting Yellowface by Rebecca Kuang. I read this last summer. I'm revisiting this because I am trying to write something, and I really want to see how Kuang approaches the first chapter and the last chapter. So hence I'm revisiting the Yellowface. Again, this is a brilliant read, but I was disappointed by the end, because it builds up. The story is quite. It's a fast-paced book, but the ending I felt was just, it doesn't do justice to the book, according to me. So hence I am rereading The Yellowface by Rebecca Kuang. Rebecca Kuang also is, if I'm not incorrect, she's also a PhD scholar of Asian studies. So yeah, she, I think, is a super talented author. I've not read any of her books though, and I do intend to read her Babel. Is it called Babel or Babel? I'm forgetting the name. Let me just check. Yeah, Babel, The Poppy War, The Dragon Republic, The Burning God. These are some of her other books that I wish to read. If not this winter, maybe later. And I am revisiting one of my favorites, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I think in one of my previous videos, I talked about Joanna Rakoff's My Salinger Year. So once I reached home, I really wanted to get hold of Catcher in the Rye. So yeah, it's funny, and for some reason I picture my brother as the main character, Holden, here. I don't know why, but yeah, if you want to read something quick, funny, humorous, but also talking about the angst of growing up, I think The Catcher in the Rye is a brilliant read. The other books that I want to so The Red Sorghum by Mo Yan. Mo Yan had actually won the Nobel Literature Prize like few years back. Chinese author, and this is the translated book. I bought this in 2013, but I have not read it yet. I tried reading it, but I just couldn't grasp the story, so I left it. And I think now, almost 9 to 10 years down the line, I think I want to pick The Red Sorghum and see what it talks about. So The Red Sorghum is a story about spanning three generations, or a novel of family and myth is told through a series of flashbacks that depict events of staggering horror set against the landscape of gem-like beauty as the Chinese battle both Japanese invaders and each other in the turbulent war years of 1930s. A legend in China, where it won major literary awards and inspired the Oscar-nominated film Red Sorghum, is a book in which fable and history collide to produce fiction that is entirely new and unforgettable. So I'm quite excited to read this. It's a piece of historical fiction, I'm assuming, because it talks about Chinese battle by Japanese invasion in the 1930s in China. So yeah, this is something definitely not light, but I am quite intrigued to read. Then two books that I'm revisiting that I want to revisit is this piece of non-fiction by Arundhati Roy, Azadi, Freedom, Fascism and Fiction, where in these essays she explores explores the themes of freedom. She talks about Kashmir, she talks about silencing of voices, she talks about freedom of expression, and yeah, so quite a political read. By the very, name you can see it's named Azadi, which means freedom. So yeah, if anybody is interested in Arundhati Roy's writings, especially her non-fiction, this is a good pick. She has, I think, two of her fiction works include The God of Small Things and The Utmost Happiness, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Yes, I've not read Utmost Happiness yet, but I do have the PDF file with me, but I have not gotten the time to read that. And the final one that I have picked up is, this is one of my most favorite authors, Ruskin Bond's Maharani. This is a novella where he writes a story about. This is a story about this godforsaken, quote unquote, queen Rani in a hill station, and it's just her story and her life in Mussoorie. And yeah, this character is, I read it like, I think more than 10 years ago, 2013, so 9 years ago. I really want to go back and see. Yeah, Ruskin Bond's writing is quite fun, light, and humorous. So yeah, if anybody wants to read Ruskin Bond's novel, you can pick this up, Maharani. Yeah. So yeah, this is all for today. When I'm home, it's a little difficult to record because of very obvious reasons. But yeah, there is very little solace and loneliness that I get at home. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you if you want to pick up any of the books that I've recommended in this video, you are most welcome to do so. Actually, you should. These are some of the great authors of 2-3 centuries now. I would say not 2-3 centuries, but at least 20th and 21st century. So yeah, and see you in my next video.